So what we are trying to do today also is to learn maths by adding a bit of craft to make learning more interesting, to make it creative, to add some fun to it. That's the aim of our session. So you can send me a hello so that I know you're all here. I see Noor. I see Amit. Hunar is also there. Okay. So for those who haven't been to our session before, I am Neha Bahuguna. I am a math educator by profession. I teach mathematics, but by passion I enjoy all sorts of learning. So learning new things, doing craft, and helping kids enjoy what they are learning. That's all I try to do. That is what we try and do every time whenever we meet here at Children First with these sessions. So we do science, we do maths, but we do all of these with a lot of interesting things. So sometimes we do stories, sometimes we do craft. So today will be our craft day. Okay? Hi Shivansh. Yes?
I'm seeing Dimple on camera.
No. Sorry for the disturbance. So I think it's 6:01. Let's wait for one more minute and we should begin. So for all the parents and the teachers and the educators and who are into educating and learning of the kids, the early education, I would like to mention that making whatever we are trying to learn, not just maths or science, but whatever languages we are learning, whatever topics we try to learn, making it engaging is most important. So just like the National Education Policy has been trying to say that it shouldn't be a one-on process, the teacher talking and the child listening, a parent talking and a student listening. So it shouldn't be a one-way communication. So the best way to engage kids is through stories, is by doing activities, is by doing craft. And right now, since most of us are still home and all the kids are at home, and we still should not be going out so much and playing, so doing craft, doing art, trying to learn different things, this is the best time for that. So with that, I think let's start. So there is no right or wrong when we try to learn, whatever we try to learn. Because if we are successful, then we learn that particular thing. And suppose we are not successful, then also there's no loss. Because then what we gain is a lot of good experience. Same is true with maths, same is true with craft. So there are no mistakes in craft. You might not be an artist, you don't need to be. So craft is all about letting your inner creativity, whether it exists or not, whether it conforms to any particular definition or not, whatever you feel like doing, you can do with craft. That's the secret, that's the strength of craft. So there are no mistakes in craft, there are only unique creations. So this is what we are trying to do today. We are trying to do some unique creativity using an A4 sheet, and we are trying to put a little bit of maths in it. Okay, so let me first tell you that today I have a friend with me, not the usual friend that I have here. I have another friend today. I'll show you. That's our friend for the day, and this A4 sheet is going to take us along on a journey, on an adventure. So first we are going to talk about what is this sheet of paper, and then we will talk about what is this A4 sheet, and then we are going to do some maths using it. So are we all ready? Can I get a thumbs up? I'll wait for the thumbs up. Hmm? Okay, so I'll start since we are already 5 minutes up. So first let's talk about how this sheet of paper came into existence. What is the history of this? What is the journey and what is the adventure? So when people started writing in whatever way, the first thing was they used to engrave on rocks, on wood. So you will see when you read history, you will find that there are caves where there are things written on the walls of the cave, on the rocks. So there are things engraved, there are pictures engraved, there are figures engraved. So that was the first way of writing. And from this, moving on from writing on cave walls and writing on stones or on engraving on wood, the writing started on cloth pieces. So on different portions of cloth, people started writing. That was the second way of writing. After that, in the 2nd century, paper was invented. And you know how it was made for the first time. I hope all of you have heard the name of the tree mulberry. You remember when we were in the play schools, we used to do a rhyme all around the mulberry bush. So those of you who remember, that's that same mulberry bush. So the mulberry bush, it has the tree, the bark of that tree was used along with rags of cloth. So using these two things and doing lot of difficult tasks, difficult steps, the first paper was invented, and that happened in 2nd century. See, a sheet of paper is so old. And from there to now, we use wood. We don't use cloth rags, and we use the leftovers. We use the leftovers wherever wood is used, in factories and industries. So whatever is left over is used to create the sheet of paper. And another important thing to know is that a lot of paper around the world is recycled. So we should also try and do our bit and send our used papers and our used books for recycling. So this will help preserve our environment. Okay, so that was all about the sheet of paper. But now what is this A4? Why the name A4 was given? Why not call that sheet of paper Hunar? Why not call the sheet of paper as Arnav? Why call it A4? There is a big reason behind it. These sheets A4, they belong to a family of A series. There is a family of sheets called A series. And in that series, the eldest member is A0, then comes A1, then A2, then A3, then comes our favorite, our friend A4. So this belongs to a part of a series. So I will show you the A3 sheet because you have all seen that. Some of you might not have, but I'll show you. But I can't show you A0 and A1 and A2. You know why? Because they are too big. So I'll tell you how big they are. So I'll first show you my A3 sheet. See?
It's still huge.
It looks so big. And do you know what is the most interesting part in this? If you use any two A4 sheets, these are two A4 sheets that I have taken. If you put these two together like this, one alongside the other, then we get an A3 sheet. Come, we'll try and show.
Yeah.
Can you please hold like this?
See.
Can you come here?
Yes.
See, when you try and put it on the A3 sheet, so two A4 sheets are needed to cover an A3 sheet. What does it mean? Do you know? Our first math lesson for the day. The area of our A4 sheet is half the area of our A3 sheet, the big sheet that we started with. Yes, and do you know what is area? Just this portion. How big your sheet? It all talks about the area of the sheet. See, the two A4 sheets have the same area. Yes? So that is the first math concept that we could learn with our friend, an A4 sheet. So the A4 sheet has an area equal to half of the A3 sheet. And you know, if we try talking about A3, A2, A1 and A0, the same relationship holds true in the family. So the area of an A3 sheet is half of the area of the A2 sheet, and so on. So if you keep joining your A4 sheets together on the floor, then you will find out how large an A0 sheet is. So I leave it to you to try how many A4 sheets are needed to make an A0 sheet. A3 needs 2, A2 will need 4, A1 will need. Keep thinking and think about the A0. And when you grow up, what we just now did from moving 2, 4 and so on, these are known as patterns in mathematics, and these patterns are everywhere in the real world. See, even in our A4 sheet which we use every day, they belong to the family of A sheets, and these family follow their areas, their sizes, they follow a pattern. That is why if you ask for an A4 sheet in India, or you ask for an A4 sheet in, say, Venezuela, then it will be the same size. These are conventions, these are rules which the entire world follows. Another interesting fact about an A4 sheet is, everybody knows it is a rectangular sheet. Yes, the shape looks like a rectangle, and we also know that rectangle has a length and it has a breadth. Yes, the two lengths, length and breadth of a rectangle. Yes, and if you try and measure the length and the breadth of an A4 sheet and then you divide them. Most of you don't know how to divide, but I'm sure you can take help of your elder brother sisters, or if your elder brother sisters are around, they should notice this point. The A4 sheet that we use every day, if you measure its length, if you measure its breadth, and if you divide them, then it comes out to be a very interesting number. I'll not tell you the number right now. We will have another session about that number. But another important point is, if you try and find the length and the breadth of your big A3 sheet as well, and then you divide the length and the breadth, then also the answer comes out to be the same number. So whether you divide the length and the breadth of a small A4 sheet, or you divide the length and the breadth of a large A3 sheet, or even a large A2, A1 or A0 sheet, once you divide their length and breadth, their answer comes out to be the same number. This ratio keeps them being together like a family. Okay, so now let's get down to some craft and keep talking about the maths in between. Okay, so I will move my screen from my face to the table so that you can all see. Thank you, Nat. And another thing, I had asked you for 6 A4 sheets. I had only asked for 6 A4 sheets so that you can keep them on the floor and you can check. So you can do that later if you want. You can send us pictures of your trying out, and don't forget to comment and message how many A4 sheets did you use to make an A0 sheet. So I told you the pattern. Let me tell you again. 2 A4 sheets are needed to make an A3 sheet. So 4 A4 sheets will be needed to make an A2 sheet, and then you have to continue with this pattern. I'm sure many of you enjoy solving patterns a lot. So this is a very useful and a very real pattern for you. Okay? So, okay, I'll just move away my A3 sheet. We are not, and oh, let me tell you, if you fold your A3 sheet, see, you will get an A4 sheet. So it's not a big deal. Suppose ma'am asks you to use an A4 sheet you don't have, you can take an A3 sheet. But if you don't have an A3 sheet, you have to join the two A2 sheets to make an A4 sheets to make an A3 sheet. See? Let me put it on the folded A3 sheet and show you. Can you see again? The area matches. So, and whenever you have two things like this, when one is over the top and it is covered completely like this, then you know what are they called? They are called congruent. It's another maths term, congruent shapes. And there are so many congruent shapes around in the world. Can you show us some congruent shapes? See? The collars right here. How would it look? Would you ever buy a dress which has one such big collar and one a very small collar? We can. In the name of fashion, we can do anything. But whenever we talk about two things looking exactly the same, having the same size, then we mean that we want congruent things. So a new maths term for you. Patterns you will solve, congruent figures, congruent things you can find around the house. Okay? So let's move on to our craft now. And we only need one A4 sheet for the craft. Alright? So let's begin. I'll move it. We don't need the colored sheet, but you can practice on a plain A4 sheet. But after that, you can use any interesting pattern sheet to make a beautiful envelope that we are going to make today. And what I want you to do is to follow the steps as well as to keep maybe writing down or maybe keep marking the different math terms we use and the different math actions we take. So all the while we make this craft, we will be doing a lot of maths, lot of geometry. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so the sheet is visible. Let me set it perfectly. Alright. Okay. So everybody is ready with their A4 sheet. Do I need to wait for a thumbs up? Yes? Okay, let's begin. So this is my A4 sheet right here. So first thing is, see, 1, 2, 3 and 4. There are 4 sides, yes? And we know, most of us have studied, our teachers tell us, our parents tell us that this is a rectangular sheet, yes? And you have also noticed, I'm sure, that one of the sides is longer and the other one is shorter. That's a rectangle for you. Okay, so what we are now going to do is we are going to convert this rectangular sheet into a square sheet. So if you don't have a square, what do? How do you cut a square? So it's very easy. We use very simple maths. What we do is hold this point. Everybody can see there is a pointed thing right here at the corner. It's called a point in mathematics. So hold this point and fold it. And how do we fold it? We have to ensure that we fold so that, see, the point merges. We don't have to cover the point. We don't have to do like this. We need the triangular sheet to overlap. You know the meaning of overlap? Overlap means to come on top of the other. So they cover each other. They are congruent. See? So what I have done is I have simply folded my sheet. And what have I got now? It looks like a boat. Something like a boat. There is a triangular portion on the top. and there is a rectangular portion at the bottom. Yes. So this is known as a triangle. That also we know. We did the greedy triangle story also. It has 1, 2 and 3 sides, this portion. So we have folded this triangle. It's looking like a flag. Done? Next, let's do one thing. You see a extra portion, this extra rectangular portion. Just fold it. Fold it along the opposite side in the opposite direction, so that you can see that you don't need it. So we are going to cut this out. We are going to cut this rectangular portion. Yes. So along your sheet where you have folded the triangle, if you cut off the rectangular sheet, then let's see what we get. So you will get this portion cut off. Yes. So this will be a smaller rectangle. But again, if you see, a small rectangle also has 1, 2, 3 and 4 sides. And it also has got those 4 points which a big rectangle has. Yes. So right now what we have got? We have cut out the rectangle, the extra rectangle. So we have a right triangle. Once you open this, then what do you think we have? It looks like a square. Yes, it does. It is a square. Square also has 4 sides. But now these 4 sides are equal. They are all the same length. Yes. And can you see there is 1, 2, 3 and 4. There are 4 corners. These are called points. They are called vertices also. That's a tough word, but we will soon learn it. So now what do we do is, I am just telling you a lot of maths in it. You don't have to learn everything, but if you keep doing this craft, if you keep trying paper adventures and you keep thinking about these, then you will learn them when you do it with your class, with your friends, with your school. Okay? So this is a way of preparing you for everything, and preparing in a fun way, because craft is fun. Sitting and learning and writing doesn't sound fun, but doing things is fun. So now I have a square. So this is my first crease that I had made, remember? And the crease is a line segment. This crease is a line segment. It has got 2 end points. यहाँ पे, here, yes, here. So the end points make this a line segment. Let's now fold it along the other side. This will help us check whether we have a perfect square or not. Let's open and see. Now you can see an X, a cross made. These are 2 line segments which cut at this point. These 2 cut at this point. Yes? Done with these 2 steps. So we started with our rectangular A4 sheet. I'll show you again. We started with our rectangular A4 sheet. We want to make it into a square. So we have folded a triangle and we are trying to do it. See? We are trying to do it perfectly so that the corners match, and then we are going to make our crease like this. And accuracy is important. Keep your folds neat and tidy. That also puts you in a good habit. So what we had done after this was, we had cut out this extra rectangle. Yes, after folding we had an extra rectangle, we have cut it out. So you don't have to throw this rectangular sheet of paper. We are going to use it. So for the time being, this is what we have. So we have folded it like this. We have folded it along the other side also. So we have got 2 line segments and they cut at a point. Yes. And did you notice we make these folds by using these opposite points? Yes, opposite points. And another thing I want to tell you right here. Can you see there are 4 shapes made inside? What are these 4 shapes? These are triangles. So these are triangles. Again, these four shapes that we have got are triangles. And if you try and look carefully, I'll try and show you like this. And if you want, you can mark with a sketch pen also these lines which you see. Let me bring them closer to you. Check out this line and this line. Does it look like an L? Or maybe look here. So an L and an inverted L. So when you see such L being formed in your folds, then you should know that you are talking about a right angle. Lot of maths. So it's okay even if you don't remember the words, if you don't remember the terms. The activity and the task is very easy. We have just cut out our rectangle and we have... Hello? Let me just check the audio for a minute. Please check.
Yeah.
Can I get a thumbs up if I am audible? I have Himadri, Gunjan, Komal, Vatsala watching. Can someone just let me know whether I am audible? Hello. I hope I am audible. So till somebody checks in, let me know. Okay, so I hope the audio is working again. Yes. So what we have done till now is we have just made two folds. I see a thumbs up, but it would be better if you just let me know whether the audio is working all right. I think I got disconnected. Okay. Hunar gave me a thumbs up. Thank you. So we have done till now. So don't be bogged down by the terms that I am using today. Keep doing the activity. See, you can even play while you are doing your craft. There are wonderful things you can do when you use maths with an A4 sheet of paper. So what I have shown you is there is an L here, and whenever you see such L shapes, you should know we are talking about right angles. And so the four triangles that we have got, they have a special name. They are called right triangles. And those who do origami or those who try doing craft, you will see these every time you do. So these first folds that we have made are the most common folds in any origami project. Yes? And origami is not just a hobby. It keeps your fingers strong. It keeps your mind working, visualizing, creating new things and solving problems. So all those who are with us or will be watching the show later, origami is one way which can help the students learn lot of life skills, lot of maths, and can make them very, very confident and visual problem solvers. And that is what our 21st century skills are all about. So I hope you like the idea of using origami in maths and keep trying it at your home. So we are done with this step. I am sure now everybody must have done. I have chatted a lot so that all of you could manage here. Okay, we are ready with this. What do we do now? Let's fold our rectangle in half. So what we have done is I have folded my rectangle in half. So you know what has happened? Now the area of this little portion is half the area of this bigger portion. So whatever we are talking about on the sheet of paper is its area. When we say I have a bigger sheet, if I say this purple sheet is bigger than the white sheet, so what I want to say is of my white sheet. Yes. And we use this concept of area everywhere in the real world. When you buy a carpet, when you get a wallpaper done. So we talk about area. So I'll keep the purple sheet. It's looking good. Okay. So what we have done is, this was my square and I folded it in half. So the area becomes half. Also notice that your square is made up of two rectangular sheets. There are two rectangular parts in it. There were four right triangles. Now there are two rectangles, and if you see again, there are so many more triangles formed. Yes, the L-shaped triangles are right triangles, but you see this is not L-shaped, so this is not a right triangle. But if you try and move and try and find the right angle, then I'm sure you will find more of them. So now we have folded it in half. Let's open the flap again. Now on the smaller portion, let's make another fold. So I'm dividing half of the rectangle. Correct? So this is what I have got. So I have divided my smaller rectangle into even smaller rectangle. Again the area has become half. Let's do it one last time. Let's fold it towards the half. I'll show you again. So this was our square. I folded it, got this rectangle. I opened, and in this rectangular portion, I folded one more time. See? So I got a smaller rectangle. Then I folded another smaller part. So I got like this. Now the sheets look like this. There is this little flap, and I have a bigger rectangle, a smaller rectangle, and then the flap. Done? Yes? So now hold this flapped sheet and bring it towards the central line, the central crease that we had created. So I'm going to bring it here like this. So the flap portion as it is, keep the flap as it is. This will make our envelope strong. So using it, I have folded and brought it into the center. Yes? Now let's see what we are going to do. From this corner, using this point, bring it and make a small triangle. Okay, this small triangle. Again, notice there is an L involved in this triangle. It's a right triangle. So we make so many right triangles when we do origami that I could not keep myself from telling you this word. That's the only reason. So what I have done is made triangles on both of these sides. So can you feel how the envelope is being made? We have to keep thinking about the steps, about the procedure. It is not just watching a video and doing, we should be able to think. So we gave the envelope a stronger base, and then we have folded the triangles also. We are going to seal it very, very soon. Yes? Done? Now what do we do? Use this triangular part and make a triangle. Oh, I can't fit in. So give me a thumbs up if you have done till here, and then we will move ahead. Okay, there was an interruption, I think. So let me revise. We folded, we brought it here. Then we made these two triangles. Yes. So now we fold it like this. Done? Yes. So now we fold from the other side. My assistant is here to help.
So you see, this point should come right on this line.
So we fold it like this, and Hunar wants you to check for this. Wait. She wants you to check for this, that when you fold, these flaps, see, they should come on the folded line already. Yes, very well folded, accuracy to be maintained. Next, we fold our two triangles right here. So again, try and ensure that you get a good crisp point. See, get a good crisp point. I am sure you will do a better job than me. Most of my students do it better than me. Even Huna does it better than me. So you see, this teaches you a lot of patience also. Trying to do it to the best way possible. So we have folded and now our model looks like this. Yes, now it's very easy. We just fold it. Again there is a triangle and let's push the triangle inside the pocket. I'll show you again what I did. We had folded this triangle, so that's all. And now just bring this inside the pocket. There is a little pocket. So yes, Hunar is showing you how to use the pocket. See, here is your envelope ready. Since we used a smaller sheet of paper, so we have a small envelope. If you use a bigger square, maybe you cut out a square from a chart paper, you can make the bigger envelopes as well. But let's just not stop here. Let's use our rectangular sheet one more time. You remember this rectangular sheet? It was the one that we had cut off from our rectangular sheet to make a square. So this is our rectangular sheet. We do the same thing again. I need a square, so I fold, yes, and I try and ensure that it matches. We need a smaller square. It's okay. So whatever is left over, we are not going to waste the paper. It's precious. We all know about the journey, about how it is made. I'm using a scissor, but many times what you should do is you should just fold, put a crisp end, or maybe use a ruler to chop this off. Yes. So now we have a smaller square. Yes, you can see. Again, you can do the first two basic steps that we do. Fold perfectly. Okay. Hunar is folding. I will keep telling you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so make crisp crease.
So she says make a crisp crease. The creases should be very, very crisp and sharp. But do them after you ensure that you have matched the edges perfectly. So you can see the cross in the center. Oh, Hunar folded it better than me. So I'll show you the other crisp crease as well. So what we get are two line segments again. Done? Let's fold them again in half, just like we did with the rectangular one. Yes? These are the basic shape. Let's fold it from the other side also so that we have lot of triangles formed inside. Yes, these folds help you a lot. In most of the origami projects, whenever you try and make something, these are the first basic folds. Okay, I'll wait for you. Hi. So I'll wait for everybody to do. We have few people joining in today. I wonder everybody is celebrating their Sunday today. Everybody is lazing around. No problem. You can watch it later and do the activity and share it with us and do the lot of learning that we are doing. So we are done till here. Next, let's see what we are going to do. So what do we do? What do you think? Let's just first revise our envelope. You can use this to revise your envelope also. Yes? Okay? Are we all set?
Yeah, so I'll just tell you what to do.
Okay, Hunar wants to do. Hunar, you can make another square.
Yeah,
Let's make one more square so that those who missed out can see the steps again. Okay, you can use a scissor if you want.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for everybody to the envelope we have made. We can review it also later, or you can watch the video later. Now we are going to use this rectangle. We want to create something. What should we make now? What do you think we should make? While Hunar cuts it open, I'll revise. We have drawn lot of line segments. We have got points. And that's all we want to do. Yes? Now let's do the same step. Hold this and again bring a fold. Got it? The same thing that we did before, we are doing with our smaller one. Done? Now hold this and turn it over. Don't forget to hold this fold which we made. So this was my rectangular sheet. I folded it again. I have brought this and made a half. So now let's make a triangle. Yes. So this is how it will look. I will just show you. Again, try when you make your triangles, you get a good sharp point. It might take some time, but do it. Yes. So it will look like this. Done? Now turn. We have done now. Till now we have done this. Let's turn it over. There is a smaller pocket here. So now bring this triangular portion and bring to this point. We'll fold it and bring it along here. So you see how many times we use the concept of points, line segments, and when you grow up a bit you will see that and the crosses are the intersecting lines. So any origami art craft that you do is made up of so much of maths, so much of geometry. Done? So this is how the one side looks. This is how the other side looks. Correct? So now let's go to this side, the smaller portions. You see some smaller flappy folds. So now we fold. This is a little tricky. I'll bring the camera closer so that you can see better. I have taken away the comments for a while so that I can see what you are able to see. See? This is where we were. So fold it and get a smaller square. Do the same thing on the other side. Flip it open, put your finger, flip it open and fold to get a triangle. Yes? So it will start looking like this. Then using this leftover square, a very small square right here, fold it. Fold your square inside. On the other side also, see I folded the square on one side. You can see now we have two triangular portions. But here there is a square and there is a triangle. So fold the square again. So now you see two triangles. And you don't have, sometimes we all forget these steps. But you have to keep thinking. Now is it shaping up? It looks like something. So now what do we do? Cute. So now these are the two triangles we had folded. Now let's bring this smaller part and fold it down to the folded line which we already have, so that it looks like this. See? It will look like. It was like this before. Show you again. This was like this, and what I have done is I have just folded the tops. We don't want a pointy heart looking. And now what should we do? We see this extra portion. This looks like a heart, yes. But this extra portion we have to fold it. We can't cut. Usually in origami we don't use scissors. We do folding. So what I am doing now is from the other side. This is how my heart looks. On the other side I am folding. So I am folding the now what you will see. Correct? And again use your better judgment, use your ideas. Whatever portion is not needed, just fold it. There are different ways of folding. The easiest is you don't need this portion, just fold it inside. That's the easiest that you can do. But what will give is if you can just push this. See, what did I do? This was our portion which we are trying to fold. So I just push it and it moves in. Push it and it moves in. So finally, this is how my heart looks. Yes, and what do we do with the heart? We have an envelope ready. Let's seal the envelope with our heart. You see how beautifully it goes in? So try with the white A4 sheet first, because it is simple to do, and you will not feel that you're wasting good craft paper. But you can definitely use the color sheet, or you can use any fun printed, any fun textured sheets, and you can make your beautiful envelopes, and you can also put a beautiful heart over it. If you don't have a colored sheet, not to worry, you can just go ahead, color your white sheet, or even before you started making this, you can use watercolor over it, and when it dries, you will have a wonderfully created, your own created textured A4 sheet, which you can use to make different origami projects. And do not forget to enjoy and appreciate the math that is involved. Yes. So here we are with our envelope and with our heart and with a lot of maths. So this one is for you. Bye bye.